Alright, hey everybody, Evan here from devascend.com, and in this video, we're going to cover event modifiers. Alright, so if you remember from the last video, we learned how to forward our events down to our child components. However, there's actually a way we can modify this event right here, this onClick. But before I go into that, I'm going to add a class to this div here. I'm going to call this card. Now I'm going to add some styling for our card. So we're just going to say padding, let's say 12 pixels, and I'm going to give it a border, 2 pixels solid, and let's go with gray. Okay, so now we can see that we have a border around our card here. I'm just actually going to add a margin bottom of maybe 8 pixels just to get some separation there. And I'm also going to remove our span, so we're just going to be our card and our button. So now let's get into event modifiers. So right now we have our onClick on our card div here. So if I go and open up our console, if I go ahead and click on anything here, we're going to see button clicked. If I click on the outside of the button, it's going to say button clicked because again, we have our onClick on our card div here. What if I wanted it so only when I click on this outside area here and not the button is it going to log to the console? So I'm going to go our app.svelte and I'm going to change this to just say element clicked just to make it more clear. And now I'm going to actually attach a event modifier at the end of this event. And the way we attach an event modifier is we use a pipe symbol like so. And now we actually have to add the name of our event modifier. So on the screen, I'm going to throw up the full list of modifiers that we can use. We're only going to be going over 2 of these in this video. The once event modifier, which means once we run the event, we're not going to be able to run that event again. And the self modifier, which means it's only going to trigger if the event is the element itself, which we will go into right now. So we're going to use the self event modifier because again, we only want it so when we click this outer area here to actually activate the console log. So if I go ahead and add the pipe and then I'm going to type self, and now if I save this and we go to our browser, if I click on this white space on our card, it's going to say element clicked. However, if I click on our button, it's not going to say it anymore because again, self means that only if this div, this element specifically is clicked on. Whereas if I were to remove this and go to our browser, then that means anything I click will show up in the console as element clicked. So let's look at the next event modifier, which is once. I'm going to actually remove this from the card here, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it to our button. And now to do the once modifier, all we have to do is do a pipe symbol and then type once. Okay, so now if we click on our card, you see it's not going to work anymore. But if we click on our button, we see element clicked like we would expect. But now what happens if I try to click it again? It's not going to print out anything. And this is because the once modifier says we can only fire this event once. And just to be more specific, we can only fire it once per page load. Meaning if I were to refresh the page and I click it again, it's going to show up once. And if I click it again, it's not going to show up. And one last thing I want to show you, if you have your onClick set equal to something, if you want to add a modifier, you do it the exact same way. Just do a pipe symbol and type once or whatever modifier you're using. And if you go to your browser, if I click on the button, it works the exact same way. And that's pretty much all I'm going to cover for this video. Again, we might go into the more complex ones in future videos, but for now, this basically gives you a good understanding. But that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can join the devascend Discord server, and either myself or someone else will be able to help you out there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.